Hello everybody, this is Curt. I'm the principal founder of Rise Raptor Project. We're a nonprofit 501c3 organization based here in Huntsville, Alabama. Our organization is dedicated to teaching the principles of good environmental stewardship, engaging in sound scientific discovery, and the riches of the history and culture by connecting with the most powerful birds in the world. So these birds that we work with are known as raptors, or birds of prey. As part of the work that I do with Rise Raptor Project, one of my big things that I like to support and any way I can is the concept of literacy. And of course, literacy involves reading. Reading and education are important to everything we do in life, not just taking care of the environment or whatever. It's education's important to the situation we find ourselves in here in April in 2020 with the virus situation. So education is important. Every year I'm so very thankful to support the library with their reading programs and other schools' reading programs. So since all of our programs this year have been canceled until further notice, I'm definitely missing seeing a lot of you, a lot of the people that are interested in our birds and in different programs. What I wanted to do today, or what I was invited by the librarians at the Huntsville Library, is to read a book. So several years ago, I wrote a book. And the book is not yet published yet. I'm still in the process of trying to get it illustrated and then published and all that. But I'm thinking, hey, what a great time to introduce that story to you. And it does involve one of my favorite topics is literacy and the importance of reading. And it stars one of our birds, Maximus, the Eurasian eagle owl. And So this book does not have a title yet. So if anybody's listening and you have an idea on the title, hey, let us know. You can reach us at riseraptor.org, facebook.com/Rise Raptor Project. We're also on Instagram, instagram.com/Rise Raptor Project. You can get us in any number of ways. So this book I wrote in dedication to Walter Crawford, my mentor, Dr. Keisuke Saito and Dr. Yukiko Watanabe of the Institute for Raptor Biomedicine of Japan, located in Hokkaido, Kushiro, Hokkaido, Japan. They're have become some good colleague friends of mine working in the area of raptor conservation. And of course, to all those people out there, the teachers and educators and the librarians who help us all be better citizens and people by learning. And of course, part of learning is reading. So here's the story. Like I said, it doesn't have a title yet, but hopefully one of you folks will have a title. In the early morning, just as the sun was rising in Strickland, and the fog was rolling through the hills, the younglings of Strickland looked up and noticed the fog starting to swirl. The swirls became larger, and the rush of air came over them, ruffling fur and feathers, but not a sound was heard. Staring at the event, one of the younglings said, "There it is again. Why does the fog swirl and the wind go by us, but we never see or hear anything?" The others looking shrugged and replied, "I don't know, beats me." The sun's rays broke through the fog. It was another beautiful day in Strickland. The schoolmaster of Strickland, Koga, one of the noblest of crows, watched from his favorite fence post, where he took attendance as the students walked to school. "Okay, everybody, Move right along. It's almost time to start today's lessons. Three best friends, Rodney the raccoon, Harry the rabbit, and Phineas the fox, made their way to school. Turning to his friends, Rodney mentioned, "There he goes again. Every morning Koga sounds like a crow in a fence." Phineas replied, "Hey, he is a crow in a fence." "Well, I never thought of it that way before," Harry said. They all laughed and went into the school. A new day of learning was now beginning. Miss Merganser, the teacher, prepared the class for the lessons of the day. She then addressed the students. "Class, we are going to have a lot of fun today. We are going to learn reading, writing, and algebra." As Mrs. Merganser began teaching, the three friends began to daydream. "Ugh, I'm so bored I could throw up an owl pellet," Rodney exclaimed. Phineas agreed. "Yeah, you are right, Rodney. Reading is boring, and who gives a hoot about learning anyway?" As for Miss Merganser, all she does is quack, quack, quack all day long. She's all quacked up. At recess time, the three friends were thinking about adventure. Rodney turned to the others. "Okay, listen up. Let's skip school for the rest of the day and play in the great forest of Strickland." Now, Tommy the Turtle was one of Miss Merganser's A+ students. After overhearing the plans, Tommy slowly said, "Hey, maybe that is not a good idea. The forest can be scary, and you could get lost very easily. You should not rush to make a wrong decision. I never do. As a matter of fact, I never rush to make any decision." Rodney hurriedly repeated, "That may be great advice, Tommy, but we don't have time to talk about the details. Let's go." While Koga wasn't looking, the three snuck out of the schoolyard and ran into the great forest. Rodney, Harry, and Phineas were very happy not to be in Miss Merganser's class. They ran to the tops of the highest hills and down to the lowest valleys in the forest, singing and having lots of fun. Later in the afternoon, they stopped to rest by the Great Lake Hero. Rodney kicked up his heels on a log and proclaimed, "This is great fun. We have been playing a long time. We should do this every day." But Harry was concerned. "Maybe we should get back before it starts to get dark. We better start for home now." Phineas agreed. "Yes, we should start home, but does anybody know where we are?" Koga noticed that Rodney, Harry, and Phineas were missing. He immediately flew to report the missing students to Maximus, one of the wisest guardians and caretakers of Strickland. "Maximus," Koga explained, "I have the most troubling news. 3 of our students have left school, and we don't know where they went. What should we do?" Maximus calmly replied, Well, that is indeed interesting. The forest is very large, and that can be very difficult to find your way around. But I know one who will be able to find where they are." "Who is that?" Koga wondered. "Owashi, the great eagle, can see for great distances. She will be able to find them no matter where they are. Go with Owashi and report back to me where they are found." Maximus then turned to the great eagle. "Owashi, my friend, fly to the great pine tree in the middle of the forest. It is the tallest tree in the land. From there you can use your vision to find our missing students. Keep your eyes on them so we know where they are." Koga and Owashi flew to the great tree and began looking. Rodney, Phineas, and Harry started down a trail in an attempt to find their way home. As they looked around, nothing seemed familiar. They realized they were now lost in the great forest and started to become worried about how they were going to find their way back. They came to a signpost with many signs pointing in different directions, which seemed to have some kind of writing on them. Looking up at the signs, Harry said, "The signs show us how to get home, but does anyone know how to read them?" Phineas replied, "The symbols look familiar to me, but they don't look like letters from Miss McGinzer's classroom. But I don't know what the words mean." "Okay, everyone, we don't need these signs. I can get us home. Follow me," Rodney proclaimed. Perched on the top of the great pine tree, Owashi turned to Koga. "Koga, I see them. They are on the north side of Lake Hero, traveling west from Strixland. Go tell Maximus that we have found them, and they are heading in the wrong direction." Koga flew back to Maximus. "Owashi has found the missing students." "What should we do now?" he exclaimed. "Good news. Tell Buzz and Condi to carry a map of the Great Forest to our students so they can read it and find their way home," Maximus proclaimed. "But Maximus, Buzz, and Condi are crazy vultures. They are always joking around. Plus, Miss McGanzer said the students have skipped reading and writing class, so they won't know how to read the map." Maximus proclaimed, "This is perfect, Koga. It's time for class to begin." Now, Buzz and Condi were vultures known for practical jokes and a bad sense of humor and a bad taste in food. They carried the map to the students. Well, well, well," Buzz asked Condi, "what do we have here?" "Well, Buzz, it looks like some of the lost students who are just dying to see us." The two vultures began laughing hysterically at their own jokes. The students were happy to see Buzz and Condi, despite the fact they did not understand the vultures' jokes, and they were not funny at all. Rodney jumped for joy. "Hooray, help us come at last!" Buzz, looking down from the perch, said, "Yeah, some old crow on a fence told us to give this map to you so you could read it and find your way home." Phineas said, "Yes, it's getting late and we need to get home. And the evening fog is coming in and we won't be able to see," Harry stated. "Yeah, fog, just like the fog in the morning at school," Phineas remembered. Buzz, turning to Condi, "Well, you might say there is some foul weather in the feather forecast." Buzz and Condi couldn't hold back their laughter at their own comical genius. Condi, sniffing the air, told Buzz, "Hey, what's that horrible smell on the other side of the ridge? It smells really tasty. I'm hungry." Buzz exclaimed, "Time to eat? And by the way, Condi, I've got a bone to pick with you at dinner." "See you later," turning to the students. "Keep calm and carry on." The three lost students watched as Buzz and Condi flew over the ridge out of sight, cracking jokes all the way. As the friends tried to find their way home, they struggled to read the map. "If only we had paid attention to Miss McGanzer's reading and geography lessons," Harry worriedly told the others. Phineas agreed. "Without being able to read the map, this map is useless. We should have paid attention in class." As the sun was setting on the far horizon and the temperature started to drop, the three students became very worried that they were now totally lost in the great forest. To make matters worse, they could no longer find their way home. They could no longer see. Koga frantically arrived at Maximus's roost to report, "Maximus, I have a strange feeling in my gizzard, and it's not dinner. Nighttime is falling across the land, and Owashi will no longer be able to see the students from the great pine tree once it's dark. Even though she has the best eyesight on the land, she cannot see in the dark. We'll have to wait until morning to find him again." Maximus replied, Remember, Koga, there is not any time during the day or night which I cannot see or hear. Don't worry, Koga, we have many friends in the forest. Perhaps our young students are learning important lessons." The friends moaned, "This is our fault. Remember that when we wanted to skip school, Miss McGanzer was going to give us our reading lessons. We should have paid attention, and we should be able to find our way back home." Now the fog started rolling through the hills. Looking up, they noticed the fog starting to swirl. The swirls became larger. but not a sound was heard. Then suddenly Maximus came out of the fog with his huge wings outstretched and landed in a tall tree. "Look, it is Maximus, one of the wisest guardians of Strixland. We are saved," said the three lost students. Maximus, looking down, said, "My young students, I see you have been learning valuable lessons." Phineas replied, "We haven't been learning because we have been lost and skipped school. We are very sorry." Harry realized, wait, maybe we have been learning lessons. We learned that we should have been paying attention in school, and then we should have been able to read the signs and maps and how to get home. Rodney asked Maximus, "How did you find us?" Maximus then began to teach the students. "When I was young, I too was a student of Miss McGanzer. I attended school every day, and she taught me many things that I would need in order to become a wise guardian of Strixland. Reading, writing, algebra, as well as many other lessons. She also taught me another valuable lesson, to take responsibility for my own learning. Even to this day, in our council meetings, Miss McGanzer teaches us new things." Phineas exclaimed, "Wow, you mean you are still her student? And she teaches even the wisest caretakers of Strixland?" Maximus smiled. "Yes, that's true. Even though we are guardians and caretakers, we are still students. We must always strive to learn new things every day. Remember, knowledge is powerful and can help us overcome fears of the unknown. Remember that there is never a time of day or night that I cannot see or hear. I have always been watching over our beloved Strixland. I knew where you were all the time. Now it's time to journey home. My young friends, follow me." As the three students journeyed home, Maximus taught them valuable lessons, and a new day of learning in Strixland had begun. So that's my book. Hopefully maybe someday to be published. I think maybe we have some prospects on artwork. And let us know what you think of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay safe. We hope as the virus situation passes over, we can use our education, our knowledge in reading to be smart, healthy, and I will see you hopefully very soon with Maximus and Sassy and our other crew. So all the best, and we'll talk to you soon.